We're talking a lot about the other side of Azeroth lately. And evidently Doron has a story from a pirate, an in-game pirate who has ventured to the other side of Azeroth. So let's see what this is all about here. Oh god. Let's see what this is all about. And whether or not it has anything to do with a future expansion. Pirate expansion? Who would be down for that? I would. I like pirates a lot. Give me a Pirates of the Caribbean WoW expansion. I'll be happy.
We just got a new pirate journal of a guy that traveled to the western side of Kalimdor, that returned and is now building the biggest fleet the world had ever seen. So this is one of those hints that has really just gone under the radar, as it seems like an Easter egg, but this might just actually be the biggest.
Maybe that's what all this pirate transmog is about. Blizzard's been dropping a lot of pirate transmog lately. Maybe they're preparing us.
Received thus far. A few weeks ago from Neltharian's library, we know that the map of Ordered Azeroth isn't exactly correct and that the Titans hid something beyond the waves. Now, in 10.0.7, we had just discovered a book from some sort of a legendary pirate that visited Pandaria while the mist was still around before we even reached it, and apparently he also sailed into the Forbidden West, the supposed other side of Azeroth, and he actually managed to return and is now gathering a crew of pirates. Furthermore, Blizzard moved Kalimdor on the actual map a bit more to the east, and as you may remember in BFA, Dragon Isles were a tiny Easter egg, but here we are right now. So what is all this new information, and are we actually set for a new pirate expansion?
Now, here's the thing. He's got to talk about his ad.
Screens, and as you may know, these screens emit blue light.
Glasses ad. Okay, yeah, 40% off with his link. Use that. Talking about the other side of Azeroth, if we ever go there, I don't think it's just going to be an island. I imagine it almost being like a WoW 2, where we get massive continents. I mean, I would think if you're going to the other side of the planet, you'd want to use that real estate properly, not just throw 36 islands on the other side of the planet, right? So I imagine us getting massive continents if we ever went there.
As you may know, the so-called other side of Azeroth and pirate expansion has been really one of the biggest speculations that we've had pretty much since Classic, and this has been a super popular theory, and it seems like it might actually be picking up some steam once again, and not even some steam, quite a bit of steam in fact. Most recently, as recent as 10.0.7 is currently in PTR, we had discovered a brand new ship, a BFA Coltiran model, but without the actual Coltiran flags, and at the moment the ship is empty and it is somewhere around the northern
They're adding
coast.
pirate ships to the game for a reason.
Inside the ship is a book called The Return of Night Squall, which is sort of a journal or a tale of a legendary night elven pirate, as the author says, the most successful one ever, but this guy is obviously quite biased as he actually sailed with him. Now, before we get into the context of the newly found book, let us look at some further hints, because this doesn't seem like just some sort of a BS Easter egg like those old god treasure chests that we had recently discovered. But in fact, this seems like an actual setup either for a later patch of Dragonflight, but more than likely the next expansion.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a patch.
Remember, but we
it's too major.
Had a similar Easter egg in BFA when Vratian had mentioned the Dragon Isles and Rexar as well, but no one really batted an eye here, but right now, we are reading this document on the Dragon Isles. Even more interestingly, in the recent times, we have discovered the inside of the vaults in Forbidden Reach, and we have discovered a brand new document. This is in regards to how Azeroth was ordered, and this seems to have notes written by or for Neltharian, and it really just reshapes a lot of the old lore. This brand new document is actually all tied to propaganda that we could read previously, but now it is spiced up with a bit of juicy old god propaganda. Now, if you want all the other details, you can check out my previous videos. I covered it in great detail, but what we're looking for here is how the ordering of Azeroth was actually refuted and the entirety of the chronicle. As you may know, the Titans apparently arrived and encountered the old gods, imprisoned them, then created giants and minions in order to completely reshape the continent and to create Kalimdor as it is. What they didn't tell us though is that this mission was more than likely impossible, and more than likely that the map where Azeroth was a single continent is not entirely accurate, or it hides a few secrets.
So I got the Titans gave us the map. Is that what you know? We keep talking about the map is not entirely accurate. Is that because the Titans themselves gave us the map and they're fucking a bunch of liars?
We can see
the
that the
gist of what
Dragon
I'm getting
Isles
out
are
of
not present on this map, and we know that they were isles even back in the day. However, this more than likely old god affiliated writer of these notes states that the Titans didn't order the planet as they told us, and that the guy writing their propaganda is obviously ignorant of what lies beyond the waves. Now, of course, we can speculate what this could be, but just the fact that they said beyond the waves instead of below the waves more than likely signals either a zone or a continent that is somewhere far away, somewhere.
I hope it's a continent. I hope it's a continent. I think it's getting a little ridiculous, the amount of islands that exist in this game. I hope we're getting another, like, massive or two massive continents on the other side of the world.
Related to the sea. My current theory is that this is a part of the Black Empire that the Titans couldn't actually reshape, so instead they decided to hide it, and to hide it.
Oh man, imagine we get to go to Nyalotha. That'd be amazing.
100% a plausible scenario.
Like, actually go to Nyalotha, not just be part of a raid that's like half-assed, half-baked. I'd love to actually see the, what is it, the Forbidden City or whatever they call it.
As we can see cloaking mechanisms all the time really in World of Warcraft, from the Mists of Pandaria to, well, now the Dragon Isles that were shrouded until a few months ago. Now, if we combine this with the old lore that Blizzard had never really proven or disproven, it is even more interesting. There are a lot of super cool hints that talk about how you can't really reach Eastern Kingdoms from Kalimdor if you sail west, and those that did have never actually returned, more like they just disappeared into thin air. It is sort of a scenario where we can never really learn like what is actually there, because no one had returned to tell the tale. Well, no one had returned to tell the tale until now, 10.0.7. and this new crazy legendary pirate. I actually think this theory is now more likely than ever, as it really would be a bit too crazy and too much of a coincidence that we got this book and Beyond the Waves hint all really in the span of like a few weeks. So in order to not take like an hour,
the book, the Beyond the Waves win, and the fact that we are getting, they're obviously adding a ton of pirate ship assets into the game. That seems very useless if there's not going to be some type of pirate patch or expansion.
With this video, I'm not going to read the document in great detail as it has a bunch of pages, but essentially it is a description of a night elven pirate by the name of Night Squall, the so-called wild-eyed night elf that ran away from his forest home to join a hardy pirate crew. He was so bold and treacherous that it wasn't long until he became a captain and he acquired his own ship, and he quite soon became quite a powerful guy. The journal states that he had reached and breached the Mists of Pandaria far before the Horde Lands had discovered the continent, and he made a fortune by selling kegs of Pandarian brew. Furthermore,
damn, this guy's been like 2 expansions ahead of us the entire time. Whoa. Maybe he did discover the other side of the world.
And the Lari and the Kultirans, and he had never actually been caught, and it is implied that he was quite a scourge on these 2 isles. However, not even this was enough, as it was said that he raided the South Seas more than any captain in history, and
customizable pirate ship
has
would be
a
cool.
gigantic stash of gold hidden on the Isle of Tel Abim, which is probably somewhere close to Kazan. Now, the guy writing this apparently sailed with the Night Elven pirate, and he tells the greatest tale of them all. With a ton of experience and funds, Night Squall had built a brand new super powerful flagship and set sail for the west, where he promised he will explore everything there is to it, and he will return with a lot of plunder. Well, years has passed since that point, and everyone knew.
Man, could you imagine going to the other side of the, if they do go to the other side of Azeroth, the amount of races they could add to the game? I mean, it's wide open at that point. Any race that we haven't seen yet, like, we all talk about, oh, we're going to get the Tuskar, we're going to get all this shit, but if you go to the other side of the planet, there could be completely new races that we've never seen before that could be added to the factions. That'd be crazy. I was just thinking about it, seeing the orcs and shit right here in that cinematic that they were just showing in the background while he was talking. Oh man, the racial possibilities would be endless.
West was impossible, so they could just have written off this guy.
You could easily say they've been there the whole time. We just didn't know.
His match on the other dark side of Azeroth, and that he
was
feeding the fishes in the halls of Neptune. However, even though years had passed, that was not actually the case, and he has just returned. He didn't say a thing, but the hulls of his ships almost burst with treasures unlike anything anyone had seen before. At the moment, he is building the biggest navy the world had ever seen, and he's recruiting all pirates and criminals from the Bloodsail to the Defiance Brotherhood. Right now, he is attacking the Dragon Isles, but as the book says, the world is ours for the taking. So it is likely that he's planning for a new expedition to the west, but this time bigger than any anything ever before. Now, of course, this could just be a hint for a pirate storyline that will be happening on the Dragon Isles in Dragonflight, but
I doubt it.
might also be a lead up into the next expansion. And I gotta say, with all the other hints, this might actually just be it. It could literally be a pirate expansion, the dark side of Azeroth. This is supposed to be...
Yeah, you could easily say like there's still a bunch of old god influence over there, and that kind of leads you into the next. So you go do like a pirate exploration expansion to the other side of Azeroth. You start finding more old god influence exists on that side than on our side, and then you start to lead yourself back into like a void old god expansion. I could totally see him doing this.
New continent, so all the other hints check out as well, because we have a bunch of old god hints. We could maybe get a pirate class, or we could learn from this pirate and sail with our own fleets.
We already have a pirate class. It's a friggin' outlaw rogue. They're pirates.
Is a lot more likely. However, I feel like if we actually sail like we record in the Alliance,
new races
we
would be
find
very
this
likely,
pirate super useful, as he right now seems like the only person, as far as we know, to have returned from this west of Kalimdor. Now, before people say that we have seen the globes of Azeroth on multiple occasions in the past and there isn't another side to Azeroth, I really don't think this is a legit argument whatsoever. First, a lot of the globes are Titan affiliated, and with the recent information, it says that the Titans hid a place beyond the waves that is related to the old gods.
Right.
We have seen their cloaking mechanisms on multiple occasions. It is super powerful magic. They didn't hide zones from us, regular just humans, orcs, and Doron, but they mainly hid it from powerful cosmological forces that are their rivals that want to conquer Azeroth, especially the Void Lords. I mean, if you could see a zone from outside the planet, and
what if they couldn't destroy Ny'alotha? So instead, when they imprisoned all the old gods that were on Azeroth, they hid Ny'alotha, and it's actually still there, just on the other side. That would be cool. That would be cool. Like I said, Ny'alotha didn't get the love it deserved. I'd love to see it in game.
Cloaking mechanisms
Beyond
would
just
really
the raid
make
that
all
we
that
got.
much sense. Furthermore, there is also another hint that has gone a bit under the radar, as the Dragon Isles were recently added to the map of Azeroth. Blizzard actually
Sounds good,
moved
Deadrick, what's
Kalimdor
up?
a bit more to the east on the overall map. Well, this could of course just be a measure so that the isles can fit in and the overall map isn't super cluttered. It could also be a huge hint that they're moving the continents a bit so that they can fit in a new one. It is especially telling that they mainly moved Kalimdor. They didn't actually move the Eastern Kingdoms. Now, of course, 10.0.7 isn't even out yet, but with this hint, the old god hints, the Beyond the Waves, even the new zone Avaloran, I think this might actually have something behind it. It could be a hunch for a new patch in Dragonflight or the next expansion, as Blizzard is known to leave these breadcrumbs that they later pick up on, as we had learned with the Dragon Isles. Thank you for watching. Check out What Is This New Zone ABERRUS by clicking on the screen, and check out Donald's Academy for videos on real-world history. See you next time.
We've seen so many videos now about the other side of Azeroth, so it seems more and more likely that, we go there. Maybe it's the WoW 2 we've all been waiting for. Maybe the other side of Azeroth comes with a graphics patch. Who knows? But I do think eventually we are going to get another side of Azeroth. It's just such an easy way for them just to add new continents to the game. So that could happen. Maybe it will happen. Customizable pirate ships? Maybe.